Hi, welcome to the show. This is Your View on TVC, and it's the first day in the month of March. Thank God it's Friday, and we have the ladies here. How are you all doing? We're having a lot of pop of colors. Like this is a month of colorful expression. Yellow, yellow, yellow. I didn't get the memo. They put small yellow in my eye for me. Tokwe, Mark, or Dige, and I have Nima here in the studio. What's going on?
So I just want to extend my condolence to my sister, Olajumoke Iyakpeju Akunbi Fatoki. I did a shout out on the 15th to my dad's friend, the prof, on his retirement and his 70th birthday, and he passed.
Oh my God.
So the sad news came in on Wednesday night. And I'm standing on behalf of my family. We should be in Ife ordinarily now. But because of distance, everybody's just solemn and sober at this time. I don't know, it was a very brief illness, unexpected. So you know the kind of shock that comes with that. But Peju, if you're watching, everybody is extending their love, and we're with you at this time.
We thank God for a good life.
Yeah.
You know, and we thank God that he was able to at least celebrate the 70th, and he was having people around him. Chama, good to have you again. Your hair is popping.
Hey. Thanks to Jimmy.
Yeah.
Happy new month. Yes, Fola Jimmy.
Yes.
Happy new month, everyone. So I'm excited. It's the 1st of March, which is my birthday month.
Oh, really?
What's your 5th of March.
Okay.
When is yours?
27th.
Are you serious? That's my sister's date as well. But today is also another of my sister's birthday.
Wow.
Yes, there are 5 of us match in one family.
Wow.
Yes. So happy birthday. Yes. Happy birthday, Queen. Today is your birthday. Wish you many, many more years in health and wealth. 5th is my birthday. I also share the date with my elder brother. The same date, 5th, yes.
As in, your family, it's a month of...
My mama and papa, they're planner.
They are planners.
Yes. All the birthdays are not the basis.
My dad is 4th of March, 27th. Wow. So it's just 2 of us
in March. So, BC, welcome to your birth month.
Oh, yes, it is my birth month. I'm still thinking in my head, what do I want to do for this month? I'm not going to do a party.
Okay.
I don't want people to eat my money. So.
But you
we definitely will eat it.
But you
no party. It's a landmark birthday, but no noise. I'm always going to be 16 for life, right?
Forever 16.
Forever 16. But the kids are rounding up their midterm today, so they're definitely going back to school. The boarders will go back on Sunday. My little girl will resume on Monday. So I'm thinking of maybe this weekend just take them out. Let's just hang out, go eat some nice things in nice restaurants and all that, then replan my schedule, because now I'll be entering the kitchen for a long bit before the new girls acclimatize and get it.
And teach them.
I don't know how I'm going to cope.
I don't want to be.
God's grace.
No sports, man. I don't know.
I helped build.
Everybody was just.
I had to do that till February 1st. I didn't find it funny.
Wow.
You know, I have 3 shifts I run. The show, the film, and my rice
go
business,
home.
and then I go home, and I have to clean, cook. And all of that.
I can't
It
deal.
can be tough. Balancing. March is also the month where we celebrate women. We have the International Women's Day. We have the Mother's Day So it's a month where women need to be. We should be more compassionate towards one another. We should care more for one another. And many women are juggling many things at the same time. So if you need help, ask for help. So for me, this month I am spreading joy. I've put out a March challenge that we should dance every day. That we should dance every day and inspire joy, because when you step outside, you can't control what will come at you. But so if you're going to do that, just follow me on social media and you'll get the details of how to inspire joy throughout the month of March. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll see what's happening in the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll be starting off the front page review with The Nation. Major headline: Tinubu, Labour's constant strike calls unacceptable. The president seeks understanding of reform programs rather than partisan reaction. I love the quote. He said, if you want to directly participate in the electoral process, wait until 2027. If not, maintain the peace. Labour is not the only voice of Nigeria. In other news, restructuring necessary now than ever, says Soyinka. It's time to protect yourself with spiritual powers, Oni tells Obas. Jais Bank eyes 10 billion from private investors, while Osime and Oshola top pitch award nominees. Then we have the story about Lagos Red Rail Line taking off. President declares legacy project open and 250,000 passengers to commute daily. You can't miss the picture at the declaration process, where we have the president, the governor, the governor of Ogun State, the governor of the former governor, rather. We have Babagana Zulum, the Prince Dapo Abiodun, former governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode. It was good to see him there as well as the deputy governor. It's a major project, so we should expect that we'll see a lot of governors within Lagos and outside Lagos right there. And what story are we? Is that the story you're
No,
taking?
I have the Jais Bank story.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking at the one where money will come. So Jais Bank is opening up the progress, the success to other people. They are issuing a 10 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 1 naira per share. They're still conforming to their ethics. So it's an ethical banking, Islamic banking, and they're opening up. According to the chairman, they said the private placement was in line with the bank's target to sustain its growth trajectory and ensure it remains well capitalized in line with the capital management strategy. And they're also still looking at, existing investors. They say that they'll be doing a rights issue later this year for that purpose. And I just love the success story of this bank.
It's an Islamic...
Yes, and, people thought it would not stand the test, and it has. Now they're opening up to private investors to increase their capitalization. I'm certainly going to be jumping on this one. We don't know where money will be going before, but now we know. Yeah.
That's a
All
good
right.
one.
So what other story?
Yes, so I have the major headline. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday threw a jab at the Nigerian Labour Congress over the union strike. Said they have called for 4 industrial actions against an administration that is barely 9 months old, and it is unacceptable. So he stated this at the unveiling of the phase 1 of the Lagos Rail Mass Transit Red Line at the Ikeja station. And in that, he also declared that the NLC was not the only voice of Nigerians, and if they are interested in politics, they should wait and contest in 2027. But they cannot keep, having this industrial strike when the administration is still very fresh. So he says that he is aware of the complaints being made over the economic challenges in the country, but he's asking Nigerians to persevere, that the nation will soon be out of economic problems. He says, and I quote, "I am assuring that Nigeria will be out of economic problems. We just need to persevere, work hard, and I am really assuring you that." And he says that he knows that corruption is one of the major reasons the country is facing economic challenges, but he's promised to look back into the fight, and he's fighting against it. He says no going back on reforms and revolution that they are doing in terms of the policies. He knows that smugglers will fight back, corruption will fight back, but we will fight and we will win, and corruption will finally go away. And so he's while at the Red Line, he unveiled it and said this is a validation of democracy, and also talked about how he was the governor of Lagos State, and he was able to do amazing things in Lagos State, and that's the template he's also taking to do amazing things in Nigeria, that we should just be a little bit patient, that all of these policies will begin to work out well for Nigerians.
So let me just flew into the Red Line launch. Sadly, there was a bit of traffic yesterday around Lagos because of it, but it is a good thing, because the Red Line, which goes from Agbado to Oyingbo, will be cutting a journey of 2 to 3 hours down by an hour. At least. So the president was there, and the president was elated. That was the word, because it was. He said he had initiated the idea in Lagos over 20 years ago, and he's happy to see it come to pass. This administration started the project in 2021, and we're seeing it conclude now. Then the Ogun State governor was there because the Ogun State also wants to take it up. The Ogun State government also wants to take up from Agbado all the way to Abeokuta, which for me is, let's copyright, let's unite in collaborate, right. That's the word, collaboration. So the Ogun State will be following up that project from Agbado all the way to Abeokuta, which would mean that people can actually probably live in Abeokuta and be able to work conveniently in Lagos.
That's even putting it nicely.
Train.
So the progress, all the developments in Lagos have always encouraged property in Ogun State. So
so the bus, the train would carry at least 250,000 people per day.
Wow,
huge.
That's a huge number.
You can live anywhere,
work anywhere. So you have a story too.
Yes, one story that pops up for me is the Oni, talking to the Southwest monarchs and encouraging them to utilize spiritual powers. Now, this comes, you laugh, this comes on the background of the attacks that we have seen recently, against traditional rulers and obas of different communities. Now, the Oni said in a recent conference that they had, he warned traditional rulers who are not interested in supernatural powers to vacate their throne. It's that serious. He urges them to use supernatural powers in protecting themselves and their territories against these attacks. Now, also to support that, he also stated, and they also agreed and put out a communique where they said that they are now going to empower the Amotekun Corps more with better motivation, finance, training, and of course, even help in recruiting more personnel for the
spiritual power. Is it
I wanted to ask.
Which kind of question?
That's
powers are we going for now?
What kind of question is that?
Which of the powers?
Story I was saying in my mind, where are the
Yes, so most of them are Christian. So which powers?
Yes, exactly.
Is it the
African power? No. So these are traditional rulers. These are traditional rulers. Obviously, the powers in question.
Muslims.
The powers in question is traditional power.
No, they can't mix it.
Wait and see.
The Punch will shock you.
Jollof. The major headline in Punch is Punch at 50. They're celebrating themselves. Past confab deceitful. Nigeria must decentralize, says Shoyinka. The Nobel laureate says that the past confab organizers are not serious and Nigeria must negotiate their unity. In other news, reps raised 23-man panel on Oronsonye reports and demand review. Customs sees 1.7 billion naira fake drugs in Oyo, Oshun. Then the federal government pays 120 million from gas debts as blackout spreads. Obviously, we're all feeling the pinch. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the front page review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
The House Committee on Justice invites the general public and stakeholders to a public hearing on a bill for an act to provide for the enactment of Child Online Access Protection Bill 2023 and other issues of online violence against the Nigerian child and for related matters. Date, 5th of March 2024, time 10 a.m. Venue, hearing room 034. For more details, contact 070-676-19331. Announcer, Right Honorable Olumide Babatunde Oshoba, Committee Chairman.
Now, all of us like to chop better food. Food where they make body tranga and veg.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7 and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7 to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
About neuroplasticity.
And based on...
He asked a question that was subjective about high life. And he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, my day.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Seun Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're starting off Punch Review with power. What's happening with that?
So the federal government has paid $120 million out of the $1.3 billion owed to gas companies for the supply of gas to run our gas-fired power plants across the country. 70% of our power is generated from thermal power plants that uses gas, and the remaining are from the hydropower generating plants. The Minister for Power had mentioned that this was coming at a huge cost, and he was suggesting the removal of subsidy. But because of this general blackout, like yesterday was our turn to have lights. But that yesterday, lights, we only saw God's light.
Oh God!
By the time the moon came out, so this morning we've seen God's light again with the sun rising. No lights. So hopefully, with this payment, we can see things. But I'm wondering, a country well blessed with gas, we can't power thermal stations with the gas that is naturally
owing.
Even a country blessed with solar too.
That's why
we have water.
Instead of flaring, do an exchange of the product with the companies, rather than paying dollars for them to still get the product.
I have a story. It's a resident of Goningora, Shukun local government area of Kaduna State, on Thursday barricaded the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, protesting the abduction of unspecified number of people in the area. They said the residents stormed the highway protesting and urging the government to do something because they've been having incessant attacks by bandits in the area. And according to eyewitnesses, they said kidnappers on Wednesday night through the early hours of Thursday had attacked the community, kidnapped unspecified numbers of people, and they operated, said it happened from 11 p.m. on Wednesday through to 3 a.m. on Thursday, and residents were trooping out to protest what they said was an audacity of the hoodlums to come to attack the area. And they said they operated uninterrupted for over hours without any security operatives intervening. So the residents had to now come out and started protesting about it. And some of them said they were woken up by gunshots. The bandits entered the community shooting indiscriminately. So residents were running to different destinations and were being attacked by the heavily armed bandits that came in their large numbers. So because of the protest that they had to carry out, they said the joint task force of security operatives were now deployed to ease the traffic flow. And they said some areas, some residents in the area had fled the community to unknown places. And government of the state was now saying that they should not take laws into their own hands. They understand what they are going through. They will do their best to see how they can get security operatives to find the people who have been kidnapped and also bring sanity to the area, but that the citizens and the residents of that area must not take laws into their own hands.
So you were going to say about the customs seizing drugs.
Yes. Now, the Nigerian Customs Service Area Controller for Oyo Osun area, Dr. Ben, said that the command intercepted fake pharmaceuticals comprising augmentin tablets, amoxil, ampiclox capsules, all concealed in 53 sacks with a duty paid value of 739 billion naira. It just shows you the size of what, and this worries me because you see that these are Nigerians doing this to Nigerians as well. I've had a case, I know someone whose sister was ill, just malaria, and she went to the pharmacy and bought a malaria drug. Unknown to her, it was fake. this whole thing ended up that she had to go to India. It was that bad. It ended up affecting her eyesight, affecting her internal organs. She went to India, and at the end of the day, she practically turned to a guinea pig, because they said when the doctor saw her, they started calling themselves, come and see, what is this?
Oh, wow.
All from using one fake malaria drug. And it's sad.
I'm happy that the custom is responding to this. We always hear about NDLEA's bust, but we're happy to hear that custom is
yes.
some of these things. And we should see prosecution all the way,
all through.
Just, I had to take my industry story. It was inside the papers. Land grabbers, the suspected land grabber terrorizing a Lagos State estate in the Ikorodu was arrested after Punch report. So Punch are taking this story. There's a particular man called Yunusa. He had a team of land grabbers, hoodlums, that were harassing people in Mosene village, Ishiu of Ikorodu area of Lagos State. The place is a teachers' renaissance estate, so it is owned by former retired teachers that are served within Lagos State, and these civil servants had been harassed. These hoodlums would come with different types of weapons and shoot into the air, and they were grabbing lands that for other teachers have not built on. There's a sponsor of one of their sponsors said they've cried several times on the issue, but finally they were able to get Punch to do a report. Upon Punch doing that report, they got threatened by Yunusa, saying that no matter how many reports you do, you will no person in Lagos State can carry him. That is very powerful. But kudos to the Lagos State police force, because they had arrested him on Wednesday. They said the police picked him up in the morning, and that was Wednesday morning, and they have reports that he's in custody. The Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution, Dr. Babajide Martin, has disclosed that the Lagos State Land Grabbers Unit, because we do have a Land Grabbers Unit, because it's a major problem in Lagos State, that they receive as much as 7,500 petitions on land grabbers issues within Lagos State. They have arrested 250 land grabbers, and 60 cases are being prosecuted in court. So let us be patient with the court process as it takes place. Moving on to the next paper, Daily Sun, major headline. Tinubu angry with NLC, says calling for strikes in 9 months unacceptable. BC took that story already. Peter Obi slams the CBN's new interest rates. Benue confirms 9 deaths for the 6 cases of Lassa fever. And troops kill 974 terrorists, rescue 466 kidnapped victims in February. Airstrikes kill 3 top ISWAP commanders and over 80 others. Zulum warns against merging Army varsity with NDA, says it will help Boko Haram. The Senate approves bill to extend National Assembly workers' service time to 65 years. Reps propose mandatory drug test for school students. And Nigeria must be decentralized, says Shoyinka. So what do we start with? Who has what?
Our troops. So I think they made a list of everything that they had achieved in the month of, military. Everything they had achieved in the month of February, and this is more like a breakdown. So the Defense Media Operations, DMO, said that the soldiers fighting in the counter-insurgency war in the northeast killed 974 terrorists and rescued 466 kidnapped victims. They also said that 1,157 terrorists and their family members surrendered to troops at various theaters of operation. So the DMO Major General Edward Buba was the one who made this known, and he said troops arrested 621 terrorists, recovered 1,573 assorted weapons, 23,345 assorted ammunitions, and denied the oil theft estimated at over 8 billion. So he, said this at a media briefing, updating on the military's operations conducted across the country in the month of February. And he said the armed forces is taking concrete steps to end terrorism and insecurity across the country. For us, I quote, creating a safer environment for citizens translates to elimination of all threats hindering the safety and security of citizens. And he's saying that Nigerians need to just endure the current economic challenges in the country, for today's pains will definitely be tomorrow's gains. He went ahead to do other breakdown. I just want to mention a few of them before I run off. He says they recovered 1,573 assorted weapons. Okay, I've mentioned that one. Then 640 AK-47 rifles, 248 locally fabricated guns, 93 pumps actions, 168 Dane guns, 15,120 rounds of
Amazing work being done by the military.
millimeter special ammo, and a whole lot that was recovered. So, you know, we had told them that we need to be seeing some of
their
these things
feedback.
That they do,
So it's important we highlight it. Amazing
well
work
done
by the military.
to our military, yeah.
Shema.
Yes. Well, Benue. You know, right now, I really don't see anything, virus, fever, anything, you know. But we have the story here, and it's about Benue State confirms 9 deaths and 46 cases of Lassa fever in the state. Now, no fewer than 9 persons have died in Benue State following the outbreak of Lassa fever, just as the state government has confirmed also 46 cases. The Commissioner for Health in the state sent a text message to newsmen in Makurdi that 35 confirmed cases, out of which were 5 health workers and 4 persons from the internally displaced persons camp, the IDP camp. He also confirmed that 5 persons have died so far. Now, he also mentioned that that was the report as at that moment, and so they are currently monitoring the situation. They also said that they have buried those who have died in accordance with safe burial protocols across the various areas of the state where they hail from. So we really, really need to begin to be a little bit more proactive rather than reactive, even with our health issues.
Okay, so I have the House of Reps mandatory drug test for secondary school students. Yes, the House of Reps had a motion moved by Moshood Oshun at plenary yesterday, and the motion was mandating the Ministry of Education to collaborate with the Ministry of Health to develop a mandatory drug test for secondary school students. They said this is not a punitive purpose, but for preventive purpose, that, you know, the use of drugs amongst our young ones and teenagers at this time has raised the need for this. They're usually influenced by factors such as peer pressure, poor socioeconomic conditions at home, and all of that. And some of them resort to drugs. But I think this is a waste of time. I think that mandatory drug test is not what they need, but an awareness of how dangerous the drugs are. Let's whatever costs go into this, go into raising the awareness. I remember how the Zip Up project worked for my time.
Yeah.
The HIV and all of that, it was from awareness. Nobody was testing anybody. Some of us just knew better to stay away.
Put the money into awareness.
Exactly.
Let me take the story quickly from Governor Babagana Zulum, who was speaking concerning the Oronsonye report. He said that he doesn't want the scrapping of the merging of the Army University and the NDA. This was, for him, going to empower Boko Haram. He said that the Army University in Biu, that, of course, Borno State has battled insurgency for several years, 15 years, and that the university in Biu, Borno State, has really helped, kept young people away from crime and giving them option of a better future, and that they are doing a whole lot of work. That's putting them and merging them with the NDA would only encourage Boko Haram. He also said that the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization should also not be scrapped, because he visited the place in the Ilorin a while back, and that he saw a lot of fabrication of a lot of fabrication going on. Sadly, we won't be able to take any other story. I'll just read the headlines of Nigerian Tribune. Stop taking the nation for a ride. Soyinka cautions leaders. I thought somebody took that story, but we can't take it. Aggrieved residents block Abuja-Kaduna highway over bandit attack. Iliod killed 7 women through dating app. That's from a suspect. I think people should read that story so that they have an understanding of how people lure with dating apps and they're able to take advantage. The National Assembly, Abba, sets up 23-member committee on Oronsonye's reports. Federal government printed too much money. That's from Abia. And Atiku wants the entire power sector to open up for privatization. That's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. When we return, we have a sponsored segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, but you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be alright.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ, and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on the social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goat when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
He didn't get it. You know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show this morning is the country manager for ALX Nigeria, Ruby Igwe. She will be talking to us more about what ALX Nigeria is all about. Welcome to the show, Ruby.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So we'd like you to just first off, what is ALX about?
So ALX is a tech training accelerator that is the training arm of Sun Technologies, which is a global tech services company. We exist to provide millions of work opportunities for African youth, especially in Nigeria, because we are one of the biggest populations in Africa.
Okay. So what are some of the programs ALX offers?
So we have various programs across tech training. So we've got software engineering split into front end and back end. We've got cloud computing by AWS, Salesforce administration. We've also got AI career essentials as well as applied AI programs. We have a whole bevy of programs here.
So I hear that you're partnering with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund.
Yes.
Yes, tell us about it.
Okay, so we have been collaborating with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, but we're glad that we can officially announce a partnership. And what we plan to do is provide as much training for the Lagos State residents as possible and get as many of them, thousands, millions, into jobs.
So how long have you guys been doing this, and what's the success rate so far?
Okay, thank you. So we've been in Nigeria for about 5 years, but this ALX has existed as part of the African Leadership Group across the continent for nearly 2 decades now. And so far, what we have seen is that graduates from our program have usually 50-60% of them get jobs within 6 months of their training.
Fantastic. So I also see that you guys are building a community.
Yes.
Yeah, of young people, and I think one of my mentees is a beneficiary.
That's amazing.
Of the project. Esther, shout out to Esther, great.
Hi, Esther.
Yeah, and she had absolutely no tech experience or background, and she was a bit afraid, of taking the project or taking the program, but she did it. But it was really, really, really impactful. But now, my question is, beyond the training, what more are you guys doing for those who have benefited from the program?
Okay, so like Esther, we definitely promise that whether or not you have experience in tech, you can get into our programs and build up those skill sets and walk away a full stack developer, walk away a data analyst or a data scientist. But what we also have embedded into our programs is what we call our secret sauce, and that's a foundational concentration of soft skills and civic-minded skills as well, because we're not just raising tech talent. We don't just want people who are antisocial and who just want to code and whatnot. We want to raise people who are knowledgeable and who are ready to solve Africa's grand challenges. And you're right about the community. We do have a community of over 140,000 learners and fellows who are graduates across Nigeria. We're in every single state in Nigeria.
I'd like you to share some of the success stories, the highlights, so that people watching can feel like what's the impact been like. I'm sure there are several stories for you to pick from.
Yes, okay, so I can probably share 3 across the different training programs we've had. So we've got a virtual assistant, someone who picked up training to become a virtual assistant. Shout out to Cheta. She was able to take on our training shortly after giving birth to her 3rd child, and after that she's been able to rack up a number of clients as well as set up a community of thousands of virtual assistants just like her. I also have another person who went through that program and after that was able to buy themselves a laptop and uplift their family. So another example as well is somebody who's gone through our data analysis program, and even before he finished his program in April was already looking at a job offer. So he started working even before he finished his final exams. And then of course we also have a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem. We supported over 4,000 startups last year. And Health Tracker and Money are one of those ventures, yes.
So I see that you have more collaborations. You had collaboration also, partnership with the Nigerian Bar Association and the Institute for Continuing Legal Education. You also had one with HFM Markets. How many more opportunities are open there for anybody trying to collaborate with you?
So ALX is ready. It's open season. We're more than happy to take. We are ready. We are ready to partner with any and everyone because our mission and our numbers, our targets are in the millions. So while we have 140,000 and it can sound big to some people, to us we're like, okay, we're just getting started. We're heading to the millions. So we call on state governments, the federal government. A lot of those partnerships are already in the works. So we'll be announcing a lot more as time goes on. But we are looking for any and everyone. So businesses who want to do CSR or who want to train their own staff, churches, mosques, anyone, we are ready to work and train our young people so that they can build skills and uplift our country.
Yeah, so what qualifies you to be a part of ALX for those who are listening and want to join? To have some of the skills?
So it's really simple. We just want you to be between 18 and 35. So I'm officially the definition of a young person.
We don't come up for the bracket.
You can't tell me that. No. You all of you are in that age.
We're 16 actually.
Yeah.
So that's the issue.
Yeah.
We're 16 and you say 18. Can you just put it down a bit?
Yes, you just have to. You can turn 18 in the program soon. Yeah, you just have a couple more years to go. But 18 to 35, you should ideally have a laptop or access to a laptop. Okay. And you don't need to have finished secondary school or any of those things. You just need to be ready to learn because we will teach you.
So I'd like you to break down some of the programs specifically. I know you mentioned them in passing, but somebody watching right now would want to see which of the programs ALX has would be a fit for me.
Okay, so I think the program that is definitely if you want to, dip your toe in and see how you're feeling, is probably the AI Career Essentials program. So that program is 6 weeks, and it focuses a lot on AI, and everybody's hearing about AI. What's AI? AI is going to take my job. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what's happening. It will break that down for you, provide you with an understanding of hundreds of tools that are available in AI. So people use AI for writing emails. People also use AI to edit content. So all of those things are available. So that's an AI program. The data analysis and data science program are helmed by Explore AI. And that is, with that, it's almost like a gamified experience. So you actually, you're introduced to a fictional country called Mali and Jogo, and they're trying to solve a water crisis, and you're in there trying to figure out the data and try to make sense of it, and in so doing you learn. So that's data. Cloud computing is AWS, and then you've got Salesforce administration as well, and then software engineering, front end and back end development.
Wow. This is a career opportunity and career change. Shima, do you have any question?
Basically, what do you have to say to those watching?
ALX is here for you. We want to take you to the next level in your career, and we also stay with you. So we're not one of those tech talent programs who just wants to train you in tech and then throw you out in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. We want to cook you and make sure that you are aware of Africa's grand challenges, and you walk away a global citizen, a continental citizen, a strong national citizen. And even after the program, we're there with you throughout the course of your career to make sure that you're continuing to be supported by a thriving community.
Is the training physical or virtual?
Okay, so we have, all our programs are completely remote, but we have hubs across Lagos. So we have 11 hubs currently in Lagos, and we have one in Abuja and one in Port Harcourt. And what we do there is we allow any of our remote learners or anyone who signed up for a hybrid option to come in and learn from both the fellows and the community that exists therein.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Well done.
I'm sure that this year, they say we should not grieve for anybody.
Yes.
So anybody that would not make us make money, we know they grieve for the person.
Yes.
I'm sure people will be reaching out to your platform right now to get the information on how to register. What would be that platform?
Yes, alxafrica.ng. So no grief for anybody but ALX.
All right, that's all we can take on this segment. Thank you so much, Ruby, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Ruby Igwe is the country manager for ALX Nigeria. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll continue with another segment.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ike Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you said I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You know what to become subterfuge. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just went that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger!
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
Ha. I know I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
What's your age?
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. It's still Your View on TVC. We have the founder of Honey Drops Foundation, Dr. Onyekasola Junaid, and she will be talking to us about teenage dating violence. I'm sure you probably have never heard what teenage dating violence is all about, but it's a thing, apparently, and Onyekasola is going to be taking us through what it's about. Dr. Junaid, thank you for coming on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question is, why would you set up a foundation to talk about teenage dating violence? That's pretty niche.
Yeah, that's very, very niche, because we didn't start off being that niche. About almost 9 years ago, I got into the domestic violence space accidentally. I live in the U.S., and a lot of Africans, especially Nigerians in the diaspora, at the time, it was about 2015, 14, there was a lot of high incidence of domestic abuse that led to death. So we were having people killed in our community, several different things, and nobody was saying anything about it. And I started asking questions about, well, I mean, what's going on? Why does it seem okay for us to keep having these things? And what are we going to do about it? Are we just going to keep doing GoFundMe, raise money, bury, GoFundMe, raise money, bury, and nothing else to prevent, to at least try to minimize and mitigate the risk? So, and at that time, I was also a teacher with Dallas ISD, and I had kids who also had behavioral issues. So I sort of started connecting the dots, and that led me to start advocacy. The first advocacy was doing a beauty pageant that was aimed at raising awareness to domestic violence. Come to find out that that beauty pageant, of the 7 ladies who participated for the first edition, 5 of them had gone through domestic abuse.
Oh my God. Whoa.
I was not even aware.
By their boyfriends?
By people, by intimate partners. And these were not even married girls. They're very young women. So So I was like, this is weird. That means it's everywhere. Because unbeknownst to me, that was not a normal thing. And of course, in our culture, we have this silence and shame. So if you come out and say, my husband beat me and I left him, or if something, you know, people have a way of saying, well, you know, pastors will say, oh, don't, you know, you pray for him, you fast, talk about it. And that's just a whole nother conversation that would take us way left. But I felt like not enough was being done. And from that beauty pageant, the following year, we just set up the foundation officially, became a 501c3 nonprofit, which is a status you have to acquire to operate an NGO type organization in the US. And we've been doing the work. So by the second, third year, through networking in the city, I got into the domestic violence task force with the mayor. That's the mayor of Dallas. So he had this whole community. I was the only African represented there, the only Nigerian, of course. Yeah, because, and I was shocked that, you know, there was already a lot of work being done, but our people were not benefiting from it. But when I got in the space, I now found out that same year that, because every year they gather data, they do research, and they gather a lot of data to say how many deaths, how many reports, how many this. Nigerian nurses at the time in 2016 were classified as endangered species.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, these are human beings and these are a group of people. But because so many of them had been killed because of domestic violence in 1 year, which was unnatural, so it was a classification that was called endangered species. I was like, that's weird. I only hear that in science.
And for some animals.
Yes. So that just kind of propelled me the more to get into the work. And as I was doing that, being a teacher, I said, well, so when all this happens, who takes care of the children? Because when a parent dies or families are broken up and parents have to go into shelters or whatever, what happens to the kids? Because as a teacher, I started to connect the dots. A child who's from a domestic violence home comes to school, cannot learn, cannot perform, cannot do anything. So who actually speaks up? What programs are available for those children? And that's how we niched ourselves into creating solutions for preventing the domestic violence on their level. So our method of approach is not about reactive. We're not a reactive organization. That's good. Like, you know, Lagos State is already doing so much with the sexual and gender-based violence agency and all that. But we are more of a preventive method, whereby we want to educate the kids, raise their awareness, elevate their mindsets, and shift it for them to be empowered to know how to identify red flags, first of all, and also cultivate positive relationships, build confidence in themselves, be very healthy in their ecosystem, and, you know, so they can be better, productive citizens of society.
How do you get, in your advocacy, how do you get, or you do just advocacy, or how do you get subscribers? How do you know a child to help, who to reach out to?
So we don't even try to find a child to help. We just want to do more of a holistic approach. Boys and girls, educate them generally. And that's where we now start having school to school. We partner with government agencies. In the US, that's been our method, government agencies, schools, and, you know, communities. But coming into Nigeria, we came in last year to do a soft launch. We partnered with Mushin local government because, of course, they're the ones that have immediate access to the students and the kids that we can serve. And we're able to, you know, cater to about 3 schools, about 520 kids in the senior secondary space. And we did our very first teen conference. We did that, the awareness. And after that, we just said, okay, now we've tested the waters. We see that, first of all, there's a need here and there's a niche for us to plug into to add value to what is already being done. So I said, okay, we're going to officially come back home, register, get ourselves set up properly so that we can launch. And that's what we're doing this week.
Awesome. Okay, so it started from America?
Yes,
you now want to launch in Nigeria?
In Africa, actually.
In Africa, okay, so all over. Now, I would like to know some specific support that you give to, you know, participants or clients or teenagers who you've identified as people who have suffered domestic violence, do you have like a shelter that you put them, aside from the general advocacy that you do? Is there something else you do for individuals involved in it?
Oh, that's good. So we don't have a shelter. We're not, like I said, we're not a reactive organization. However, because of our position, we partner with other agencies that offer these resources. So for example, when we had the first teen dating violence conference yesterday, in the full scale of how we do it, we involve students. We have student speakers. We have them, speak at the conference. Yesterday, we had the Commissioner for Youth and Social Development as our keynote speaker. We had a lot of notable agencies, DSS, NDLEA, come attend with us to help us further add value and educate the kids. At that particular event, we had a lot of questions from these children. The beauty of it is because we already set up collaborations, and we even had Mrs. Fashola in attendance with her NGO, committing to offer some type of resource to these kids as a result of the event that we had yesterday. They had questions. Some of them wanted to learn certain skills. Some of them needed counseling based on their questions. So now we have partners here in Nigeria who are willing to be that resource for us. So we want to stay in our niche space of educating and empowering. Now, when there is a specific need for response, then we now have people where we can say, okay, go here. This is where you can get this help. This is where you can get that help. And that's even the way we operate in the United States as well.
Fantastic. So,
thank you, Mom.
2 in 1 now, yeah?
Yes.
First of all, like you mentioned, teen dating violence is like a thing.
It is.
Right? And for me, that's new information. But I'd like to find out, what would you say fuels this? Right? That's one. Both from the side of the abuser and the one who's been abused, right? Then the second thing would have to be, beyond collaborating with governmental agencies and educating the children themselves, there's a need to also educate parents. So are you going to be collaborating with parents, with families as well, so that we can begin to tackle this issue from the family?
Exactly. It's the same thing, right, that I got yesterday. The representative from the Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Agency said the same. She was like, I love your program. It's amazing. But what are you going to do for the parents? I said, I know. However, our niche is the teenagers. But we also want to be able to ensure that what we're teaching these kids does not fall flat. So we have to incorporate the parents in some type of way. So what we have done in the past is have what we call a teen expo in the United States, where parents actually are the ones that come in. The teenagers have, their own section of what they do, the workshops and things, but the parents are involved in that particular teen expo where they get information, resources and things like that. The reason we cannot commingle our teen program with the parents is because teens will shy away. They will not be able to openly give us everything that they're giving us right now if we involve their parents in the same space. Like yesterday, you would have been so blown away to see 6 of these students speaking on this thing. All we did was got together with them, gave them a bit of coaching, gave them some background resources from our curriculum, and asked them to build up a 10-minute speech that they were going to deliver, because our solution is not us telling children, this is what we know. It's about us getting kids, empowering those kids to be peer advocates. So the kids speaking to the kids resonates better, and there's more connection, and it lands more. So that's how, and kids, I was like, wow, I could not even believe how far they took it, and it was very impressive and very encouraging. But with the parents, we definitely would love to create programs for them. But also, we have, of course, as an agency, we identified that. But one of the things that we've also done was create a program for men, because in the domestic violence space, and I know this is a very, very controversial thing, we advocate heavily for men when it comes to the issue of domestic abuse. Why? Because men are automatically villainized when it comes to domestic. When you hear domestic violence, you automatically think the villain is the man beating the woman and the victim is the woman receiving. But it happens both ways. So we are not a gender-based organization ever in any program, we're never gender-based. We address the human issues. So our program for men allows us to celebrate men, give men something that they can truly believe that, you know, someone is actually speaking for them. So we have our Men Against Abuse fashion show, which is tonight.
Awesome.
So that's an amazing thing where we use fashion to pull the entire community in. But then the message behind it is a fashion show for men by men, men-led, male designers, MC, everything men. But it's really to highlight, celebrate men positively when it comes to the issue of domestic violence, and then encourage them to speak up, to find a safe space.
As well.
Because most men,
they don't share.
They will take you to the grave.
Yeah.
And there's a high suicide rate because of this issue amongst our men, which people don't know. So we really want to curate that space for men, and so we do unconventional methods to advocate and raise awareness.
I love. Thank you so much for sharing your passion with us. I'm sure that somebody watching right now is more enlightened about teenage dating violence. I actually know someone that was in a violent relationship as a teenager. We were all teenagers together, and I knew that she was being beaten. I didn't understand why she was still in that relationship, but maybe if she had there were advocacy at the time to
February
help out.
is, and the reason we made it a point to launch in February is because February in the United States, it's Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month.
Can you imagine?
It is the whole month of February.
So can you tell us more about the event you're doing today?
Oh, today's event is our Men Against Abuse fashion show. I actually have, you know, the face of that brand here with us, Pro 7, and he's actually going to be guiding other designers, male designers, who want to showcase their fashion to help us educate the audience about not just Honey Drops Foundation, not just teen dating violence, but really highlighting the positive role that men can play when given the chance to stand up for this issue. And of course, encourage men who are victims currently suffering, dying in silence. Speak up. There's help. No shame. It's a safe space. And trust me, we really know that this is something that's going to do really well. It's going to be in GRA today. So it's open, it's free. Of course, it's a fundraiser for us as well. We're an NGO. So please come through and, you know, have a good time, see some good fashion. We have some exhibitors, have some bites with us, and just see what Honey Drops Foundation is about and meet some amazing men. Because it's a lot of wonderful men who are going to be in the house, y'all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, come through.
Sounded like an invitation for women.
Hell yes!
Meet some amazing men.
Women will show up.
Please show up, women. Pull up, women, because we're going to have some amazing men in the house. The face of the brand is Pro 7, and trust me, he's an amazing man, and he's bringing all of his village people.
Thank you so much. It was great having you, Dr.
Thank you, ladies.
Junaid, on the show. We've been talking with Dr. Yinkosola Junaid. She's the founder of
Honey Drops Foundation.
Honey Drops Foundation.
Now Honey Drops Foundation Africa.
I wanted to out. I don't have
Actually,
the time.
virtually
I'd love to ask you why Honey Drops, but we would bring you in another time to talk about it, because I love to hear your opinion on men, especially men being victims, data on men being victims, how to support men being victims. That's pretty interesting. So thank you for what you're doing. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue with the hot topic for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show, Le General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gould ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Per. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you.
So, the team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be alright.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Maybe mock a bit of sports, current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So,
Thanks for staying with us. We're still on Your View on TVC, and we have a hot topic that is very hot. So in this story, someone went to X to talk about how he was invited by his friend to be a groom, one of the groomsmen. Actually, he was supposed to be the best man, but he just felt fishy about it because the guy said that he has found a woman, she whole, like she has her own, she can take care of herself. So it seemed like it was a money-based relationship. A few months down the line, they did the wedding, and the lady financed the wedding. Then they got married, and 2 months after, he got the information that the marriage was over. And what was the reason for the breakup was the fact the girl found out, the bride found out that her husband didn't have a house. Was an internet fraudster. I stopped calling these people Yahoo boys. It was an internet fraudster that was living in the hotel and was living off her bill. So the 2 months they spent, their 2 months married, was in the hotel on the bills of the wife, who then moved back into her father's house and called off the wedding. So here's the thing. Nobody today, men, they marry woman that has nothing. And a woman also can marry a man that has nothing. But the problem here is there was a deception in that she wasn't informed of the true state of the finances. Let me hear from Chioma. What would be your reaction if your sister comes back and tells you this story, to say that we've been staying in the hotel for the past 2 months, so I've been the one paying the hotel bills, and apparently my husband is a Yahoo boy, internet fraud.
You know, if I'm to talk, I'll just be talking based on the info that we have at hand. Yeah. My question is, one of the questions I would really like to ask the guy or the girl is, how long did they court for? Did they know each other? What were the conversations they had before marriage? Because at the end of the day, what most people do is we spend the courtship time, we spend the dating time, doing the things that, practicing marriage. Then we now get into marriage and start asking ourselves questions we should have asked earlier. I don't understand. When you were dating him, you did not visit him. Koyemi. Like, you did not ask him, where's your office? Even if it's not office, where is the kiosk where you are selling from? Hey, where's your shop? Do you understand? Even if he was taking you out, gallivanting, painting the town red, you should be able to ask, well, it's just sad because we really have lost the moral fiber of our society. I saw a Vox Pop recently and they were asking the girl, would you rather marry a worker, a 9-to-5er, or a Yahoo boy? And he said, I go marry the Yahoo boy. And I don't want to the time saying they wait till after months before I collect salary. And I looked at her and I'm wondering, is this out of the clamor for wealth, for fame, where someone comes out and says, I have this amount of money in my account? Nobody bothers to ask how. Where?
From where?
What? How? They don't bother to ask the questions that need to be asked. And now also we have people preaching and telling men, you too, if the woman no fit pay you salary, no marry. Yeah. So we've seen a lot of all that on social media. And so the guy now is just like girls package and get ready to enter a marriage with the intent that the man will pick the whole bill. The man is now equally doing the same thing. So maybe his intent was after the 2 months honeymoon in the hotel, we will not enter her own house. Because if you as a woman are willing to probably pay for your wedding gown, pay for everything, even your dowry, I'm sorry, what were you expecting?
Friend of mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Was just telling us how she did all this, only to find out that the guy was not straight.
Hey! Yeah. She did all which one?
For everything. She just noticed that towards the wedding, just kept having financial issues, make shame for no catch us. She carried this, carried that. She didn't think it was a sign. She thought, she was showing that she was going to be a supportive wife.
Oh, wow.
And she, and it was deliberate, because he knew that if she finds out, so that he will not have any loss on his side. And
so it was her money. She invested in nothing.
She was a hardworking girl, and he knew. She thought she was proving.
Very strange. We always head on the other side. BC, what was your first opinion before we now dig in?
I always ask a question.
Oh, they look wristwatch.
Are you coming to marry me, or we are marrying ourselves? Because where I grew up from is the man that handles everything relating to marriage. Of course, there's the part of where I would support after the marriage, not while we're planning. I don't have 50 kobo to put to buy my wedding gown. I don't have 50 kobo to add to pay for the chicken. And people will say, you are very old school. Why you want to kill the man? Is it the man? Yeah, has the man died now? No, he will never die. Because now I have launched him into his potential. He knows he has to work hard to be able to keep me. So I don't even tolerate it where I'm seeing people planning wedding together and the woman is bringing 70%, bringing 80%. You are marrying yourself. And what happens when you marry yourself is that you have made the man redundant in his thinking capacities to do more for you. So this one just fell into a serious trap. There was a trap there already. You did not know the house. You did not see his office. You did not do anything. You paid for your own. So you married yourself. If I want to marry myself, I could just go. Shebi Oyibo people carry animals or carry flower or something and just marry and stay on my own. But for you to have a full-grown man who you are marrying, let's exchange it. You married him to. What were you expecting? He didn't have anything. And because of your mindset of we have to somehow support. To show that I am a good person, you are blinded to the things that you're supposed to know. The red flags are there. But because you want to be that supportive, you don't see those flags. And it always comes back. After the marriage, you can now support as a wife. You are there as a helpmate. But at the beginning, let the man do what he's supposed to do as the man.
I supported my marriage. I supported the wedding ceremony. That's the truth. I supported very well. Like, supported as per wedding ring, na me buy am. Wedding dress, na me saw some. It was not, I didn't see anything wrong in it. And it's a different worldview. And it's important that we don't, because sometimes we will now, when girls say you must do everything, some guys in this scenario will feel like, why are you putting so much burden on someone that you love and you want to marry? And on the flip side, if you be seen as someone that just wants to, you come into this relationship to just chop and clean mouth. There are men that are looking at it from that perspective, that I want to be sure that this person will be willing to work with me through the challenges. So BC already has proven she's willing to work. They have dated since. So it's not this conversation she's having. People cannot take it and take it on the face value of, I did not contribute, the man must do everything and marry me because I know the story. So let's come back to...
No, wait. Pause there. So we don't give them mixed messages. What do you mean by contribute?
No, I didn't say you contribute. Like, he knows you can contribute to supporting him when challenges happen. Because you dated for a long time and he knows the kind of person you are.
And you can support your husband because you know who he is.
So the real question is, how well do you know each other before getting married? Because if I know you...
Even when you know each other. So I remember there was a list on my marital item. I thought, how much is it that's causing problem? Father said, it's not your place to pay. It's not for you to pay. I know you. Don't try it. Wait it out. I tell you how long I waited for that particular item to be done. So some things you don't rush.
Don't compromise.
Don't compromise. I like the word don't compromise.
Don't compromise.
So the bride price, the items on your traditional wedding list are crucial for the man to pay for. He needs to go through that process. If you now pay
all your term, that's what they say in my place. It shows
that he's ready.
Ability. Because life will test that ability continuously.
Over and over.
You don't want to be caught unawares. You don't want to be fast forwarding the exam, the expo before you wake up. But Chioma said something that is for me. You know, how do you date someone? How do you marry someone? Because we don't date. How do you marry someone? You don't know house. place, time. What were you focusing on? His ability to take you to the fine dining.
Where were you people meeting?
Hotel now. Hotel.
And she was footing the bills of the hotel.
No,
She
may not have been footing the bill before. It was after marriage. Maybe the guy, you know that there was a story that went viral.
He left the bills. Just open the next pages. He left the bills on her.
For the hotel and the wedding. But before then, he attracted her with money. Empress Jama's story, yes, he attracted her with money. Empress Jama had a date. That guy had dated other women that he attracted them with money. He made it look like he was very rich. He would lavish them with gifts. And then the rest of the time, he said the business did not work out. So they will now be the one taking care of him. Expecting something.
Yes.
And that is it for the long term. I didn't see my husband did not have office as at when we were dating. But I knew that he had a business and he was working. He had a printing, we had magazines inside the house. So, and I knew we had a house. Sometimes you might not, I want to be able to help the people that are watching us right now, because these things, we've seen it in different areas, especially when women are mature and are seemingly desperate for marriage. Not desperate, but you're already in that age bracket where people are asking you every second, who you date, when you go marry, when are you bringing somebody home? They do. It's prevalent.
People make mistakes.
Yes, it's more prevalent within those people that they make the mistake of entering into that relationship without seeing everything they should see, because their focus is on, finally I have someone that says he wants to marry me. What would you say, Chema, would be like the things we should pay attention to when planning, when somebody starts asking you out? What are the things you should be citing that you'll be looking at and say, this thing no pure?
You know, most times we focus on the wedding and we forget the marriage.
And that's life.
The marriage begins after the wedding. You are going to live with the man, not the one in the suit and the bow tie. You're going to live with the real one.
Like generator.
So you want to focus on the content rather than the container. What does he have here? What is he bringing to the table? First of all, the man is a visionary. He's a leader. He may not have all the money you want him to have. He's a man on transit, right? But the question is, where is he going?
Whether if he join.
They say, if I come out for here now, I dey go Oshodi. I feel see motor where they go CMS. See the one where they go Sele Express. Do you get what I mean? Sele Express is closer to my bus stop. If I enter CMS, say you get AC. The driver they pump music. This bus fine, make I enter. You don't lost. So the first thing first is the woman must know herself.
Where she's going to.
Who am I?
Who carry you there?
Where am I going? That's my destination. So the moment I get to bus stop, I already have a clear definition of the bus when I want to enter. Because at the end of the day, let's call a spade a spade. That man you are marrying is going to be your head and your covering. So I should be looking, what we ladies should be looking out for is the content. Does he have a vision? Is he working on it? Even though he's not there yet. Even if we're to get married now and I have all the money in the world, don't sponsor it. Don't, my perspective, don't fund it. Rather, let's cut down to what he can afford.
Yes,
I'm hearing that over and over again.
So, you know, we're from the East.
Yoruba is
in our side.
It's in Yoruba land. The bride does.
I like what people do.
The groom brings in the bride, like the bride price, the eruyawo. The groom would bring it. But the wedding, we are hosting our in-law. That's the Yoruba culture.
Is it the bride or her parents?
The parents.
Talk well now.
Oh, sorry.
See, because this Yoruba that we know, me, I know, even though that's not what we practice. So your family, that you would have allowed to do their due diligence.
You're not rushing because you want to get married.
My sisters, two of them married Yoruba, one in Jebu, one in Kwara. I remember the Kwara was the first one. My father kept saying, there's going to be a clash here. Oh, your term, that's what we do. So I won't be, we are not supposed to be hosting, but he was made to host that wedding. But that's not what we practice. A man comes and shows your family
that I am ready.
He is capable, no matter what your father has. So you can then say you're matching it by reciprocating certain things. Not that they will be returning gift and the other one. But he will still show that he's capable. When I married, My husband did not need to be told.
He knew because he's from your area.
Yes, he knew what he needed to do.
Cross-culture might have
So,
issues.
yes. But your family, who must have done their due diligence. Now, the problem is we're in a world where the young girls fall in love. And your family do not so much as have that say.
So, I'll come back to you, Nima, because I wanted to ask you about the scenarios where you as a Muslim, you're not allowed to date. But BC was going to go somewhere, and you were going to go into culture and how the culture is protecting us as women.
Yes,
yes, both women and men. But as we move away from culture, we're moving away from the protection that we should get, that the culture provides.
Yeah, so also, I've spoken to a lot of women who made these mistakes, because in my relationship counseling, I will now ask, did you notice this, and that? They will say yes. So it's not every woman who does not know that this man does not have a house. They know. It's not every woman who does not know that this man does not have an office. They know. It's not every woman who cannot tell that this man is trying to defraud me somewhat, because you have paid the first bill, you have paid the second bill, and he keeps coming with stories over and over and over, and he has a lifestyle his appearance cannot handle. And sometimes he comes to you, he has borrowed shoe, he has borrowed suit, he has borrowed tie, he has borrowed a lot of things, you know, but you tell yourself that I can change him. I can change him, don't worry. It's just the beginning.
Change the changer.
Holy Spirit, it's just the beginning. I can change him. Once I enter his life now, my head will cover him. And some family members also tell, marry him now, you know, this marriage comes with his own blessing. You will now be the head that will open doors. They know all of these things. So the thing is, I like women, when I coach women, I always tell them, if you're ready for this conversation, are you ready to be true to yourself? Because we live in denial most of the time. We know all of this, but somehow we are wishing for a miracle that will change the outcome for us when we have seen all the signs. When you are seeing those signs, pay attention to the signs and have a conversation concerning those signs.
But BC, I have a reservation about, seeing certain signs. A sign that the man doesn't have necessarily doesn't make him a man without
That's not what it might not make him a scammer. But she's saying that there are signs of scammers.
I agree.
When we started the relationship, there was no money. We met as students, right? There was no money. There was nothing. We couldn't foresee our future and all of that. But I was checking his attitude to life. I was checking his attitude to his work. I was checking his attitude and his behavior to his fellow people. His core values. I was checking how he treated his mother, how he treated his siblings. I was checking how he had integrity and was not doing things to lie and just make some. I saw all of those. And that's whether the money was there or not, I knew that with this kind of person, we will work together and we'll get where we're going.
That's why I said that.
So it's not about having money.
Because
but I don't put my money now.
Yes, that part is clear.
It's not my
you didn't put, but you knew who
so
he is.
Even if he cannot afford immediately, he cannot be without the people.
Yes,
support.
Exactly.
So,
thank you.
How can you come and marry somebody?
You're taking us. You're just going. You're going.
You've not seen the ones that marry with loan.
No. You are going.
You've not seen the ones that go and collect
loan. Oh, you're paying.
Let's come back. Let's be giving it one by one, so that our audience will get what we need them to get. Let me write the loan down. I will come back to it. Let me come back to you. Some people, based on religion, based on culture, are not allowed to date. Some have that's you carry bone that belongs to another person's bone. Or you find yourself in a relationship that you would not have committed to if you had the opportunity of dating the person. How can you not date him? Because he said it is focused on the marriage, not the wedding. Don't focus on the dating and the fluff of dating. Chopping what you're supposed to chop inside marriage during the dates finish. How do you now, without dating, get to know someone?
When we do our search, it's not like that. If you like dates, you might not really know someone. But what we do, we investigate.
All right.
So a man who's going to come and marry, for instance, my own. In fact, my father had the data. My husband's grandfather and my grandfather were farmers, friends. They tilled land together and shared and used to wish their children would marry. And it happened in our own time in their grandchildren's lives. So when my husband came, my father didn't really need to do so much. But I remember my sisters that went outside. Father would now call, Bimbo, this one that your sister brought somebody from your tribe, I don't know, that my auntie's investigation skills.
We'll start.
To go and search. To workplace.
Our local
to how the person works. My parents did that. When we wanted to go and marry in Ijebu, Bimbo, help me again. We deployed. By the time that one person was coming to our house, not knowing we had done our research.
That was how they do it in the East too.
Wake up one morning, one night, I end up anywhere. They want to know what the families. My parents used to check up to family traditions because we are a family where we don't have cold water, hot water principle. We don't want you to wake up and they don't eat salt when you give birth. All of those strangeness were also investigated. I don't know them how they do in those places.
Whether they circumcise, they don't circumcise. Whether they circumcise women, they don't circumcise women.
Cultures, beliefs, practices must at least be similar for you to be able to adjust, because you believe that you'll be adjusting for a while if you
in the marriage. Oh wow, that's so interesting. That's so, I was investigated, by the way. I'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk more about how to prepare ourselves and how we can avoid scammers, especially when it comes to marriage. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Anikula Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger!
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I know I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
I
said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Rush on.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the scam trends in marriage, where women scam the men into marrying them. There was a video that went viral where it was in Korea or something. The husband had children, and the children they were not as beautiful. They were beautiful in God's eye.
They did not meet his expectation.
They did not meet his expectation, and he's not a bad-looking man, and his wife is drop-dead gorgeous.
Oh wow!
Only to realize that the woman's before.
She did plastic surgery.
He married the woman's after. The woman had done plastic surgery to make herself beautiful. She born herself. She born her original self. What we saw.
And he sued her to court.
He sued her to court. And that is also buttressing what we see here. In Nigeria, most cases, it is a scam of financial. Either the woman is lying about how much she has, or in most cases, the men are deceptive about how much they have. And Nima and everybody, all of you here have alluded to the power of our culture and how our culture actually protects us. Our culture is meant to preserve us. So in my own case, my husband, being that he's not Yoruba, I told him that you are going to come for a wedding and you will prostrate. Meanwhile, I had already bribed the Alagaduro that they will not pay you. He must prostrate. He will say more befe. That is, I am begging to marry. That's our culture. The man must say, I am begging to marry this person. Say it over and over again. Then prostrate and show his respect. And sometimes we have heard stories, because I was a bridal makeup artist, that the brides would, in cross marriage, they would pay for the prostrating
Instead
process.
Of allowing the man.
So the man will not prostrate. He will just pay his way through. That's what Nima was saying, or what you were saying, that you are doing expo to pass an exam that is crucial for your long-term benefits. So let's bring it down to loans. You mentioned people taking loans for wedding. The financial intelligence and financial coach part of me cannot rationalize it. But you mentioned it obviously because you've heard such stories. How has it been? How did it react? How did the taking of loans to fund wedding affect the wedding?
Okay, so the lady found out that the guy had actually collected the loan. Yes, to put up their lavish wedding. Yes, it was pretty lavish. He had an apartment. They moved in, but by the time they moved in, her complaint was for the first 3, 4, 5 years, every single dime that comes into his hand, I'm servicing
the loan.
And she was like, why did you have to collect a loan for us to? And I said, but you said you wanted this, you wanted that. Hey, but you made me feel you had the money. Do you get what I mean? So she was placing demands based on the impression he had given to her. How she wanted this and that.
Not get sense.
My sister.
So I go ask, wait now.
Need more.
Wait now.
Make she talk.
Wait. If we just finish wedding, be reasonable. You just finished a lavish wedding. You should be concerned about your finances naturally. You should be worried that,
No, but if the man had money, if you marry someone that is in a rich
family. He didn't show you horse that can fly.
So you see,
I did a very, I will not say, my wedding wasn't lavish. It wasn't very, very well managed economically. And even when I got married, as I was moving in, I was on my way to law school, I was saying to my husband, I know that finances will be tight at this time. Because that's reality.
Yeah.
You are joining him to build a life. You expect that your finances will be affected by such a
we should
event.
never. I would always advocate. You should never start a new life or a new
one that will shock you is that they serve you the bill. I had a client after whose wedding they got a bill of 40-something million for drinks.
Hey.
I don't understand.
Did they have a no cap? Did they have a no cap? I don't understand.
The drinks that they served at the
popping champagne.
Popped.
As in they told vendor just be supplying or how?
So the husband knows the people that the drink company. And so they gave him based on recognition, but sent the bill after the wedding. 40-something million.
He made a mistake. He should have said, okay, this is the maximum.
Somewhere else. Yeah. You mentioned something. Who are your people? Now, my wedding was not the unmanageable girl. True and true. We could have done a bigger wedding.
Yes.
The wedding was not small. I'm an only child, so we could not have done this. Is the only wedding they are going to do. So it was a wedding. But even at that, people showed up for us. My uncle sent in cow. Like we had 2 cows, and we also bought. So we did not. Bag of rice was dropping. My husband had. Yes, there was support. The people around you, and the quality of people around you and people that rally around you shows the quality of person that you are. So BC was saying something about, I know him. I know the kind of person he is, how he treats people.
Okay.
I want
so
to
in my own culture, right? When you say you want to marry. Your parents expect that you are now a man.
You are now a man.
And when you are a man, you will foot the bills like a man. So we took years saving for our wedding, right? For every promotion, there's this bonus that they pay them and all of that based on his industry. It's okay, we're keeping this one towards the wedding. We already knew when we were doing it. We're keeping this one towards the wedding. We're keeping this one towards the wedding. That's how we gathered it. That's also you to pay attention to the financial prudency of the person you're going into a relationship with. If you have a man who is not prudent, your journey is far. Because when the man is prudent, it's easy for you to take whatever he gives to you and then you nourish it and increase it and all of that. When you are dating a man who you have noticed is not prudent, any new shoe that comes out, he wants to wear it. Any new tie that comes out, he wants to buy it. You are in trouble.
It's okay.
Yes.
You cannot afford it.
Even within
most cases, you can't plan if you are spending everything.
Affordability. His ability to live below his means is what makes him a strong man, and that's what will save you people. Exactly. So we knew that we're budgeting 1-point-something million at the time for the wedding. After, because it was a big wedding.
Yes. It was a big wedding.
It was a big wedding. But after the wedding, until you know that we are going to drink Gary for a bit.
We
planned it. That's what I was talking about. We knew it. We expected it. Because at the time, he's a very shy person. He's not much into relationship and all of that. He didn't have big friends that would support him. And even when his father asked, okay, I have a wedding gift for you in cash. Should I add it to what you're going to? Should I send it to you? He said, no, use it to buy block for our building. Because this one that we have earmarked for this wedding, we are not exceeding it. And we made sure, I did not buy wedding gown, I rented.
That's discipline.
I rented a wedding gown.
That's discipline.
There were some things I did not buy that I rented.
Important trait.
Because we now understood that it's not about the wedding. People will eat and forget what they're eating that day. When we get to the house, now me and you.
Now, said they know they bring gift, come wedding.
My sister.
For financial prudency.
Yes.
You must bring gifts. It's part of the red flag.
Financial
you see in a man. Discipline. You see in a man and you know this one.
Even in a woman, my people. Even in a very important woman, because women are nurturers, and if may we not marry the person that scatters. May we not marry the person that does not
go and marry canker worm.
That is. May we not marry a canker worm.
Gathers. I have seen women gather. They are busy gathering.
The man is.
You now see the woman is helping you save. You now decide to be the generous one. Who knows where
to be the reproach in the family.
Imagine a woman who gathers, sit down and be watching. Say, hey, you are a prudent woman. You have helped them build, and then you see, hey. Yeah, you're one of my friend, one of my
auntie, one of my,
you know,
money is going.
It will now be said that the woman is wicked when she raises an eyebrow that this spending is becoming somehow. You know, she'll become unaccommodating. She'll be called names.
But you might already know. That's why you.
No, if you are a lavish person, lavish this way.
Oh, okay.
If you want to be lavish, let me be I'm being the one to verify lavishness.
Yes.
Let me not be seeing lavish fly everywhere.
But that's why you have to observe. I learned how to collect the lavishness because I was seeing there was one Christmas. I mentioned it to be something like I was just, and I have his password. I just saw messages. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Uncle. Like they were sending thank you message. Like you're doing Christmas for people. And we have not done Christmas for me. You're queen. Because I did at the time in our marriage, I wasn't asking. I'm a strong Ijebu woman. I am self-sufficient. I can handle my own.
Miss Independent.
Inside marriage, after many years, we've hustled together. Small chicken is coming in. You're now being generous to everybody. So I now learned. My coach BC of life, has now taught me
how to receive
my gift and collect and ask
my gift
and be taken care of.
But that's why communication is also very, very important. So now you said you guys were saving towards your marriage. There was that communication. There was that agreement. That time, so if anything was to change, take for instance, there was an emergency, life and death, even in his own family. There's a need for communication. Okay, can we go ahead and do this? Of course, your wife not be winch now. So yeah.
You are struggling with communication while dating. You cannot suddenly not struggle when you get married. If a man is this way, savior, you know, I've written plenty
I
things
heard this
down.
thing you said, I'm wondering the place of reward. You know, I raised the issue of the prudent woman and reward. Reward is that you see that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Reward is that you intend, even when the means is not there, to always reward that support and sacrifice. You cannot be at that point where people call names and you join. When a woman is, compromising her needs, her wants to make a home, man or woman, but on the scale, it's usually the women's side that doesn't work. You see, older women who are in their 50s, their 60s, who've waited forever for their reward and never found it.
But genuinely,
the bitterness that comes with it.
But it's man and woman because
I'm not saying
I get you. I'm saying to sacrifice everything.
Yes,
to
and
raise the children. Yeah. And when the children now travel out and want to take one person away,
it's their mother.
It's the mother. The man is now alone after he spent everything to raise them. So it's both sides.
I agree on this. Very true. Very, very true. I'm talking about the two parties to a marriage.
Yes.
So you want to fly in your career, the woman steps aside. You want your kids, she's on bed rest, she's pregnant, she's nursing, she's taking them to
school. You want them to go to a good school, she will drive them there.
Who is making that sacrifice for all of those things? To have a whole life, you have your family side, you have your career side working, and somebody makes it happen. Won't you want that person to sometimes sit down and have good things to say and good things to gift when the balance reach? I have a big bros that when he was time, he signed off the right to withdraw the signature to his account to a single individual, to that woman.
That's reward.
That's reward. That woman cannot be bitter Because now she's still doing the work, making sure the children are schooling abroad, but they have a mentor. So
some people
3 months here, 3 months here.
Let's take this
3
phone
months
call.
here, 3 months there.
Ralu has called in from Shasha. Welcome to the show, Ralu.
Hello, good morning, girls.
Good morning.
This is my first time.
Welcome to the show.
But let me make a job now. You girls are bad. All of you there, you are bad girls.
As in very good bad girl.
Yeah, be like so.
Yes.
Doing bad things for good reasons.
Yes, so thanks for clapping for me. Now, you were talking about fake life. You see, that's the reason why we should go back to God and start from the basics. We should go back to God and start from the basics. Look, listen, there's no point in deceiving ourselves. Don't hide. In fact, the guy that borrowed money to go and do wedding. In fact, if he were my friend, I won't talk to him anymore. We need to be who we are.
Yeah.
Let us be who we are and then follow God's example. If we do that, we won't have any problem. There's no point in claiming to be who you are not. That's hypocrisy. And that's my take from Shasha.
Thank
but
you
I love
so
these
much.
girls.
Thank you. We're feeling very girlish today too. Spiritual. We really didn't talk much about the spiritual part, and that is from my own perspective. There was another video that was sent to us, and the video showed a pastor in church saying that it trended online. The pastor said the wedding was suspended because there was no parental support of that wedding, and there was nobody to give the wife over to the man. And so he said, let's suspend this wedding. For me, I had to fight and convince my parents that this is the person I wanted to marry. And they met the family, they had conversations. It was the spiritual for me, I would say, because I took out time. I went to Kilometer in Redeem and fasted and prayed that God should touch my parents' heart to accept.
Wow. What if they didn't? What would you have done?
I will continue fasting and praying. I will not leave I wasn't going to leave. Mr. Back is you and I. Till that was past there. You come back again in another version, you will jam me.
So let me add
and we will marry.
To what you're saying.
Spiritual?
Yes, the spiritual aspects also. Sometimes we need to know who we are and our connection to God. And it's not somebody else that would tell us how connected we should be, or somebody would be receiving messages on behalf. Because the truth is, if you have very good parents, right? There are parents that are very good. They put their children first. You can even tell from the sacrifices they've been making in raising the kids and wanting the best for them. If you are blessed with such parents, you can listen to them because you know and you believe that they are seeing ahead and they are also protecting you. So you can listen to a large extent, depending on who you are and exactly what you want and all of that. But if you know that you have parents who are naturally selfish, who will put themselves before, and we have these parents, let's not deceive ourselves like all of us are good parents or we all had good parents. Not everybody, is blessed with that. And from time and precedence and everything they've been doing that it's about them and not you first. So you will be a fool to put their advice before your own.
But you still cannot do it.
We'll come back to that too, because
it's a deep issue, but you can. Yes.
Deep gone. I don't.
Let's
take Maria from Ogba. Ogba, welcome to Maria, welcome to the show.
Good morning, and how are you today?
I'm doing well. And you?
I just want to chip in one or two words in what you are discussing. Because I see that is... Yes. Hello, good morning. Yes, so I'm responding
don't
here.
listen to the TV. Listen to me directly. We can hear you right now.
Okay, what I'm saying, Toba, is about marriage that we are discussing is a very good topic. Because most ladies, they don't find out about their spouse. Okay, most ladies, they don't find out the truth about their spouse. They just go into marriage without finding out whom they are marrying, the type of business the man is doing, his value out there. All they are looking for is glamour. And then the man will shoot up and be looking for money here.
Thank you, Mariam. BC took us to a place that I want to go to. We would not agree.
It's okay, but you know why
we will not agree, but it's valid to be put out there.
You know why I want to put it out here? So that we don't assume that because
everybody's
it's my parents
have sense.
it's my parents, I must do their bidding. We've had people who have done it the way the parents saw it and said it, and it didn't work out for them, and they're regretting today. So let's also consider those people in the mix.
If we're talking religion, you cannot do
without your parents.
Is it just religion, even tradition,
even culture?
Even culture.
I just feel a bit. Even if you marry, even if you are born by fools, God forbid, that you are born of selfish people, because based on my own belief and because of our culture, you will find a way to do like the fool so that you capture them to agree.
What if you can? What if they cannot agree? What if they refuse
you
to
will
agree?
have
What do you do? That's where I'm going to.
So I don't believe I think that we don't find ourselves in that position, but I feel
there are people who have
agree
and there are people who are still in that
your
space.
parents to do it. Because I found cases. I have a single friend right now, and she's had 2 major proposals, and the only reason they did not get married was because her parents said she cannot marry someone that is not Yoruba, and which is for me it was a silly move. But she also was not convinced of the marriage, that what she wanted to do. So she bowed to them, and we're still waiting for the right man.
That's why I said from the beginning.
So you must know
who
yourself
you are and know your connection to God.
So if you, as every human being must have a spiritual life, it is extremely important that you are able to talk to God. And there's nobody's heart that God cannot touch. That God can touch that person's heart that even is very selfish to bend to your will. So it starts from within us.
God can sit
to do what we need to do. It will be final comment because we are out. This is 53.
Yeah.
Wow. Finish. Just 1 second. Oh, yeah, talk.
Choma.
If your parents are not agreeing, find the next of kin to your father. That's for Islam. That would agree.
Now you're giving
someone
options.
more reasonable that she can talk to. Someone bold enough to stand in.
All right.
Because some people will say, I cannot dare your father.
I like the option.
All right, fantastic. I'd want to refer to the video, the one of the pastor. I'm totally in support of what he did. You cannot, what marriage is a transfer of authority and covering from your father to your husband. And it should be there. It should be there.
You can't have it.
See, if you cannot have it,
you have to be strong, strong enough to know who you are and face God by yourself. No parent actually has your blueprints and your templates. The truth is sometimes, they are vessels, they are caretakers. So give them the respect that they deserve. But if it gets to an issue where you know that this is where my heart is going
option. If Nima's option does not work,
yes, you can.
You take your God, you and your God. You'll be fine. We've had a very rich show, like extremely rich conversation. We've spoken about the fact that when you're thinking ahead of your life, think about the marriage, not the wedding ceremony. Look at the content and not the container before you be misruled. You are not the savior of the world. Don't think you will be the one to save your partner in the marriage after getting married. Culture is very important. It's protecting you. Financial discipline is a very, very good flag. Ensure it is green before you enter. And spiritual insight. Have a relationship with God personally and with your... you know God for yourself, so you are knowing that God is leading you in the direction you're going to. I know that all the ladies of your view want to congratulate Victoria, who is our new CEO. Yes, on that note, congratulations, Victoria. We are really excited. This is the season for women. TVC is wearing a new life. We have MD Muraya and we have the CEO, Victoria. Congratulations to you, Victoria Ajayi. That's what we can take on the show today. Tomorrow, you will come and hear them, where they snack them, the way they knock them for Pidgin. Your view Pidgin on Saturday. Bye.
Bye-bye.